Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python programming course. I hope all of you are doing well. In previous lecture, we learned how to create variables and display output using the print function. But if you observe carefully, in every program, we were writing the values ourselves. Suppose I run this code. Here I am giving the values manually. Now let me ask you one question. Suppose I create a register form. Will every user have same name? So answer is no. Every user has different information. So how can Python ask the user to enter their own details? The answer is input function. Today we will learn how Python accepts data from the user. This is the one of the most important topics because almost every real application takes input from users. So let's start first input program. Enter your name. Let us understand this line carefully. Python, the word input here, the word input is a built-in Python function. Its purpose is to accept data from the user, and inside the brackets we have written enter your name. This message is called a prompt message. A prompt tells the user what information they need to enter. Now I will run the program. The screen shows, let's see. The screen shows enter your name. Let's type enter. Output will be the output is now it. What happened here? Let's see. Python displayed the message enter your name. Then Python stopped. It waited for the user. Only after the user typed now what I have typed and press the enter. I have pressed the enter. Did Python continue the program? Let's see the value. Now it was stored in a variable means name. Finally, print name displayed the stored value. So the process is Python asks for input. Next, user enters the data. Python stores the data and Python prints or uses the data. Let's see the important definition of this. These are the topics today we are going to discuss. Means entire Python. This is the topics of entire Python. the input function would accept data from the during the execution. This is a simple definition of input function. Let us understand this definition. The input function allows the program to communicate with the user. Without input, our programs are fixed. With input, our programs become interactive. Interactive means the program talks to the user and receives information. This is how websites, mobile apps, ATM machines, railway booking systems, online shopping applications, and login pages work. Almost every application asks user to enter information. This is exactly what the input function does. Let's see one real life example. I will explain clearly. Imagine if you go to a bank to open a new account. The employee asks, "What's your name?" You answer, suppose I will tell my name is Navneet, and he'll ask your mobile number. He'll answer, and he'll ask about our address. So the bank employee collects information from you. He's collecting the information from us. Instead of a bank employee, here Python asks the question. Instead of speaking, the user types the answers. Let's take another example of this input. Suppose I'm writing age is input, enter your age, print age. Before I wrote my name, enter your age, printed my age 18. Now we are asking the user to enter the age. I can Python displays the user type 18, what I have written. Python stores the value, then Python prints it. Everything works exactly like the previous example, as you observed. It. Now let's take any city name. City is let's print if Hyderabad. Now we are asking for the city. Notice something important. Python doesn't care whether you type Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai, or any other city. Whatever the user type is stored inside the variable. Python simply accepts the input. So this is how input function will work. Let's take multiple inputs at a time. So on these lines. it printed. Now our program is becoming more interesting. Let's see how it will become interesting. I will explain. Now our program, instead of asking only one question, Python asks three questions. First, it asks my name. After, my age. Later, city name. Now all the information is displayed. This is exactly how registration forms work on websites. Now I think I think your activity work is to do write a program, ask the user to enter your name, age, city, college, and your favorite programming language. Then print all the information. Take your own details as the input and run the program. So if you practice at least two problems on this, you can got it. Easy to understand. Input function is easy, and I will explain now briefly what we have learned till now. We understood how Python accepts information from the users. We wrote programs that accepted one input and multiple inputs. We also learned that the input function makes our programs interactive. Now we will continue with the input function and learn how perform calculations using user input, which will introduce as to type conversion. So let's continue. Now, now let's see input function performing calculations using user input. We successfully accepted in previous lecture. Now what we have discussed before. We successfully accepted the user's name, city, age, and college. Suppose now we are going to solve one more important problem. Suppose I ask the user to enter two numbers. Can Python add those two numbers correctly? Most beginners think this answer is yes, but actually Python gives us a surprising results. Let us understand why this happens. Now let's do this. Suppose A is equal to input the question now. Result is equal to A plus B in let's do 3. Answer is 250. How it should be at the numbers, but how answer is 23. Let's understand this. Did you notice something? I have entered 2, then I entered 3. The expected answer is to be 5, but Python printed 23. Did Python make a mistake? No. Python is doing exactly what we asked it to do. Let us understand why it's happened. I will explain the reason carefully. Right here, input and text means string. This is one of the most important points in Python. Whenever we use the input function, Python accepts the value as a text. Even if the user enters 100, Python will treat it as a text. Even if user enters 999, it store it as text. Our Python actually becomes why it happened. I will tell you one. Python joins the text together. Means where treating it as a string. So the answer, it combines the both the strings and what we have integer type. So I will explain you within next step. Now, before that, I will tell you one real life example. Imagine if you have two pieces of paper. One paper contains 10 and second paper contains 20. Instead of adding the numbers, you simply place a paper beside the other. Now it looks like 1, 0, 2, 0. This is exactly what Python is doing. Now, I will explain the integer type function. Suppose if we write int function before the int, if we run, that's first number 2, second number 3, answer is 5. Now excellent. Now the answer is correct. What change? Look carefully. Earlier we wrote input. Now we wrote int input. The word int means integer. It converts the text entered by the user into a number. Now Python performs numerical addition. Instead of joining the values, Python calculates 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. This is how it works. For integer types, if we are doing addition, subtraction, or any other mathematics calculations, we have to take input at the starting. We have to write as int, and for strings we have to write only input for strings. For integer types we have to write in late next input. We have to take an input. This is how it works. Let's see subtraction. Sorry, stable one. Python performs the subtraction because both values are integers. Now let's see multiplication. Multiply. This is how multiplication works. And let's calculate the area of a rectangle. This is a small basic sum. This length is equal to inch because length we are storing, we are taking as an integer type. So we'll write int next input next enter the length. Area. The output is 50. Suppose we want to calculate the area of rectangle, the formula as you know, length into breadth. Python multiplies both numbers and gives the correct answer. So I have taken length as 10 and breadth as 5. So it gave me answer. Next, it will show area. Area is equal to 10 into 5 because length we have stored as 10 and breadth we have, so it will take input 5. So area will calculate 10 into 5 and area will store that 10 into 5 means 50. So after we are printing the area, answer will be 50. So we can calculate division also. Let's see the answer of Python performs division. Notice that answer is 2.0. Division usually returns in decimal value. Now it's your turn. Write a program that asks the user to enter two numbers and calculate addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Display all four answers. Pause the video. I think you will do and complete this activity. Now, many common mistakes that students are going to doing is mainly they forgot to write int function. For example, a is equal to something input enter number. They will forget that int function. Then try to perform addition. The output becomes incorrect. Always remember if you want mathematical calculations, convert the input into integer. Another common mistake is forgetting one bracket. Carefully count the brackets while typing. So the brief answer, I will explain this briefly and we'll close this topic. Today, now we learned something very important. We understood that input function returns text. We saw why Python prints 1020 instead of 30. As you know, as we saw that I'm taking input as 2 and another input 3. It printed 23 like that. So we solved problem using int functions. Now we will study type conversions in detail and understand int, float, string, bool with many practical examples. Let's start. Let's see whether it's recording or not. Here, type conversion. Let me create you. Now, before we learned that the input function always accepts the data as a text. Now, we solved that problem using int functions before, but one question still remains. What exactly is int? How does it change text into a number? Can Python convert one data type into another data type? So answer is yes. This process is called type conversion. Today we will understand why type conversion with many practical examples. Understanding int function with one example goes is equal to 100. Real number. Let's print this. Answer is right. So let us understand this program carefully. Inside the brackets, we have written 100 as a string. So it is actually a string, not a number, if you observe that. Now look at the function. The int function converts the string into integer 100. It printed as a 100. The Python prints the integer. So remember, int converts a value into integer whenever it's possible. Now I will give you a simple definition of this. Type conversion. That comes of converting frequently another data type. Let us understand this definition. Sometimes we have text, sometimes we have numbers, and sometimes we have decimal values and Boolean values. So Python allows us to convert one data type into another. This process is called type conversion. I will tell you one real life example. Imagine you travel to another country. Your money is in Indian rupees, but the new country accepts only dollars. So you exchange your rupees for dollars. That change the value changes from one currency to another. Similarly, Python changes one data type into another. This is called type conversion. I think you got it. Let's converting string into integer. Suppose age is equal to 19. Print age. Age is equal to int age. C. Output is 1919. Here the output looks the same, but internally something important happened. Initially the value was string initially, but internally something important happened. I will tell you clearly. The value was string after using int function. Python converted it into an integer. The value looks the same, but its type has changed. Now this is how type conversion works. Let's convert this into using float function. Let's do with the float function. Suppose price is equal to float 99 sorry price. It it printed 99.1. Let's stop. Now we are using another function, float. The float function converts the value into a decimal value. Suppose if what I have entered 99.5. Python converts it into a floating point value. This is useful for percentages, heights, weights, and many calculations. Suppose now we'll convert this is how float function will work. Now let's convert from string to float. Suppose height is equal to float. And let's print height. Suppose 5.8. Output is 5.8. Now Python accepts the user's input. Initially, the value is text. Initially. Then float converts it into a decimal number. Now we can perform calculations using decimal values. Let's perform with string function. Suppose my example is equal to 100. Text is equal to string of number. String text. So the output is 100. So we have converted the string, that 100 into we have converted it into string. So I will explain clearly. Using string function, Python converts it into a string. Sometimes we want to combine numbers with text. In such situations, string function is very useful. This is how I have converted this 100 integer into a string function. Little bit, so we can increase our level. Suppose age is equal to 19. Print my age is string age. It will show the output will be my age is 19. See, my age is 19. The sentence my age is a string. The variable age is an integer. Python cannot directly join a string and an integer. So we convert the integer into a string using string age. We have converted that integer 19 into string. Now both values are strings and Python joins them successfully. Now we can use bool function. Suppose let's run this, which printed true and false. Now we are using another conversion function. Bool converts the values into Boolean values. Generally, 1 becomes true and 0 becomes false. This function is useful while writing conditions. We will do in further lectures. And these are the four main type conversion functions as we have seen now. Type conversion functions: int function, float function, string, and bool functions. And these are the four most commonly used conversion functions. Int converts values into integers. Float converts values into decimal numbers. String converts values into text. And bool converts values into Boolean values. As we continue learning Python, you will use these functions very frequently. Now I will give you one activity. Write a program that accepts your age, your height, your name, and then convert age using int and height using float. Okay. Finally, print all the values. After that, try changing the values yourselves. Observe how Python behaves and practice this program at least 2 times, and you will get The most easiest problems I have tell you now, and I will tell you about common mistakes that students are doing, and they are they want to try, and many students try to convert words into integers. For example, suppose Python int, after that quotation Python. This, this will produce an error. Why? Because the word Python is not a number. Similarly, writing float hello also produces an error. Always convert only compatible values. Now I will tell you this topic briefly. Today, now we learn about type conversion in Python. We understood that Python allows us to convert one data type into another. And we practice the four most important type conversion functions in float, string, and bool. We also learned when and why we use each function. Now, next topic we are going to discuss about data types. Data types. What are data types? Let's talk about that in next. Yes. Let's start data types. Let me create a new file. Now we learned about type conversion. We understood how Python converts one data type into another using in float, string, and bool functions. Today we are going to learn one of the most important topics in Python program. The topic is data types. Before writing large programs, we must know what type of data we are storing. Suppose if I ask you one simple question, is is your name the same type of data as your age? Answer is no. So your name is text and your age is number. Similarly, your percentage is a decimal number. Whether you pass or fail is either true or false. All these are different types of data. Python stores each type differently. Today we will understand all these data types one by one with practical examples. Let's start with suppose what is a data type? A data specifies the type of value stored in a variable. This is the simple definition of data, right? Now let us understand this definition. A variable stores a value, but Python must know what kind of value it is. Is it a number? Is it text? Is it a decimal number? Or is it true or false? The answer is called the data type. Whenever we create a variable, Python automatically identifies its data type. This is one of the most best features of Python. Let us discuss with one real life example. Imagine you have four different containers. The Python container stores water. The second stores rice, and third sugar, fourth oil. All to all are containers. All are containers. Each one stores different type of material. Similarly, variables are containers, but every variable stores different types of data. Python identifies that automatically. Now let's start with the program. int is equal to shows class string. Look careful, the value now is written inside quotation marks. Therefore, Python considers it a string. The type function tells us the data type of any variable. The word str means string. A string stores text. Examples include like student names, city names, college names, countries, messages, email address, mobile brands, or many more. Whenever you see quotation marks, remember it is usually a string. Let's see the integer data type. Suppose age is equal to int type is class int. Now the value is writing. Notice that there are no quotation marks. This is an integer. The type function displays class int. The word int means integer. Integers are whole numbers. Integers include, as you know, what we have discussed before. Now, if I enter, suppose HCI equal to 5.6, type class float. Now this value contains a decimal point. Python identifies it as float. The output shows class float. Float means floating point number. We have discussed before what is float function. Boolean data type. Suppose if student is equal to now we are storing the value true. Python identifies it as Boolean value. Boolean values are only true and false, nothing else. Only true and false. And Boolean values are mainly used in decision making. For example, is student present? Answer is true. Has the payment been completed? False. Like that. Now let's Python identifies every variable automatically. Name becomes string and age becomes integer. If we take all these together, student status becomes 4 years. And this feature is called dynamic typing. Python automatically decides the data type. We do not have specify it manually. And these are the four data types we have discussed now. String as str, integer as int, float as float, and boolean bool. Blue. As beginners, these four data types are the most important. You will use them in almost every Python program. Later, we will learn advanced data types like list, tuples, and sets, and dictionaries. Now, I will give you one activity. Now it's your turn. Create four variables. Store your name, age, height, whether you like, then Python, then print the values and its data type using type functions. Pause the video and complete this activity. I think you will complete. and practice them. Now, and the most of the common mistakes beginners are doing, writing numbers inside the quotation marks. This becomes then it becomes a string. Another mistake is writing true. At the starting, you are writing t as a small t. Then it's false, and it will give you an error. Boolean values always start with a capital letter. This is the main important thing you have to remember. Now let's talk briefly about this. We understand what a data type is and why it is important. We learned the four basic data types: string, integer, float, boolean. We also learned how to use type function to check the type of variable. Now we will start arithmetic operators, where we will learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, flow division, and exponent with many practical programs and real life examples. Now let's start arithmetic operators in Python. Now welcome back to our Python programming course. In previous we learned about data types. Today we are going to learn one of the most important topics in Python. The topic is arithmetic operators. Now let me ask you one question. In our daily life, do we perform calculations? Of course. When we when we buy vegetables, we calculate the total bill. When we go shopping, we calculate discounts. Similarly, in programming, we also perform calculations. Python provides special symbols to perform mathematical calculations, operations. These symbols are called arithmetic operators. Today, we will learn all arithmetic operators one by one with many practical programs. Now, I will tell you simple definition of these arithmetic operators. An arithmetic operator performs calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, finding remainder, finding power, and float division. These operators make programming useful. Without arithmetic operators, we cannot build any banking software, shopping websites, calculation, calculators, games, or scientific applications also. Now, I will tell you some operators. plus operator minus plus. The first one is addition operator. The second one is subtraction, and third one is multiplication operator. And next is division, and next one is floor division. Next one is modulus. Next is exponent operator. Or and suppose as we have calculated radiation before, let me calculate rate and versus dy. Is equal. This is how arithmetic operator works. Here, the plus operator is used to add two numbers. Python takes the value of A and then it takes the value of B. Finally, it performs addition 10 plus 20 plus 10 equals to 30. The answer is displayed on the screen as you see. Addition is one of the most frequently used operators. Now let's see another example. We have come here, the spaces are not allowed. These are the common mistakes. This is one to one. Suppose so the number one shows 55 and number two shows 66. Now some stores the sum of those num one and num two. This is how addition operator works. And you change the operator here between those. Answer is 11. This is how subtraction works. Multiplication. This is how multiplication works. You can calculate area of a rectangle also. Length into width. We have to take length as input and width as integer input. Then area is equal to length into width and print area. This will how we'll calculate area of a rectangle. Now let we division how it will work. Important point I want to discuss here. Division always returns a decimal value in Python. Even if the answer is a whole number, Python returns a float. This is the important thing to remember. If we use float division, C6 again 3, output is 22. Float division removes the decimal part. This is how float division works. In decimal function, in division, it returns as a decimal value, and in float division, it removes the decimal part. This is the difference between them. And modulus. Modulus means it gives the remainder. Let me discuss. Suppose 130 without is 10. So here the quotient is 3, remainder is 10. Therefore, Python prints the remainder. Here modulus function means it will give remainder as a output. And one real life example, suppose if you have 10 chocolates, you want to distribute them equally among 3 children. Each children gets 3 chocolate. One chocolate remains, and that remaining chocolate is the remainder. This is how Python calculates using modulus operator. Let's see exponent operator. Two, 2 power 2, 16. Let's see some problems based on these questions. Let us calculate area and perimeter of a rectangle. Yes, it's working. Yes, equal to area is equal to length into perimeter, 2 into length of n plus width. This is the form of perimeter. 2 of n plus b. Print area. Let's enter the length. 7 with 8 to answer 56 and 1. Now next question. Where and cube of the I think you will do. Let's see average of 5 numbers. This is how this is the average of 5 numbers. Calculate interest. We will calculate simple interest. Now let's calculate percentage. Next question is convert hours into minutes and seconds. Are the most important problems for excellent for the Python. This is about arithmetic operators we have done. Thank you for watching for this video. Now next video will continue with the relational operators. Thank